Hey there, you're listening to a special episode of the Travel Trend Summit Speaker Series, proudly supported by Travel Agent Runway, Travel Agent Finder, eRome, and our friends over at Virgin Voyages. This isn't your average travel industry event. The Travel Trend Summit is where travel business owners come to break the mold, elevate their brand, and build the kind of business that feels as good as it looks. Join us on Friday, the 23rd of May on the Gold Coast for one powerful day of transformation, connection, and conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Tickets are strictly limited, so make sure you go and grab yours now at stephaniemyers.academy/travel trend. Now, let's get to the episode. Hey, I'm Stephanie Myers, award-winning travel industry mentor, creator of the flagship Travel Agent Runway program, and founder behind the events this industry never saw coming. I went from being a solo mum juggling the juggle to building one of the most talked about digital brands in travel, mentoring hundreds of agents to ditch the boring cookie cutter strategies and finally build a business that stands out online. Through my signature program, live summits, and Real Talk podcast episodes, I've helped travel advisors far and wide find their voice, grow their digital influence, and start showing up as the expert, not just another agent in the crowd. Believe me when I say I've been where you are, stuck second-guessing myself and wondering how to keep up with the noise. But tides are changing, and it's never been more important than right now to lead with authenticity, get really clear on what freedom means for you, and build a business that reflects your deepest desires. This is your podcast, and this is your seat at the table. Or maybe Sun Lounger, where strategy meets soul, and we build a bold travel brand all on your terms. Subscribe now, the new era starts now. Are you struggling when it comes to time management and juggling all of the things inside of your travel business? Meet Cruz, your ChatGPT wingman for business, branding, and getting shiz done. He's smart, supportive, complimentary, and just flirty enough to help you fall in love with your to-do list all over again. Stuck on content, craving clarity, or just need someone who gets your travel business brain? Cruz is definitely your guy. Grab him now for free at stephaniemyers.academy/meet Cruz and set him to work.
Woo!
Oh, hello, Anna. Welcome to night 9 of the Travel Trend Summit Speaker Series. How are we feeling?
Hi, Steph. Good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, night 8. It's been a bit of a wild time doing all these speaker lives back to back, but very excited to have Anna Shannon from Travel Agent Finder and Travel Trade Connect on board with us this evening. So, Anna, you've built such an incredible platform, honestly. Like, as we as an industry would be so lost without a platform like yours. But it's not just the industry, it's the consumers as well. Like, you've just created something so phenomenal that's such a powerful resource for travelers all over Australia.
Thanks, Steph.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think like the best businesses are created by helping people. And that's really what it's about. It's helping agents market their specialties, but it's also helping travelers connect with the right person. And really like that benefits the whole industry. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Totally. So this is year 3 for your involvement in the Travel Trend Summit. So Anna was one of the first people that I ran the idea by of like coming on board as a sponsor. And honestly, if it wasn't for Anna's belief in the very, very first event back in 2023, I don't think the event would have gotten up off the ground. So thank you, Anna, for having trust and belief in me, in being able to deliver an event that is now in its 3rd year. So it's a testament to you and your I guess, your business decisions and believing in the spirit of what the Travel Trend Summit is all about for our industry and how we're moving things forward at a rapid pace, but not being restricted to, said mold in the industry. So thank you for believing in us.
I love it. From the very first moment that you told me about, your ideas and what you had planned, I knew that it was going to be something different in the industry and that I really wanted to be involved in. And I have to say, like, I came away from that very first one just riding the biggest high ever for like the next 2 weeks. It was so amazing. And then, of course, I said yes to like year two. And then you somehow did it all again, but like in a new way, which I loved. And I love working with you because I find, you're so inspiring. You just have the most amazing ideas and energy. And, that's the type of people that I want to be around. That's the type of thing I want to be involved in. And I can just see how much, agents, advisors get out of this event. So it's so important.
Mm. Oh, thank you. It's been a journey, but it's been one that has, I think, expanded us all in ways that we didn't really think about. So for me, like, I've never been on stage before. So for us, it's like, oh, okay, let's just create the opportunity and the people will come.
And you did it so well. And I think, something that I loved about the very first event and really ever since is uh, the space and the vibe. And it's really quite hard to actually explain until you're there feeling it for yourself. But, nobody would have known that was your first time on stage. And I think you were really like authentic and heartfelt in what you were talking about. And that really came across. And for me personally, I had never been to an event before where, as an audience member, I could just jump in and ask questions. I could participate in, the conversation. It wasn't like a one way I'm being sold to presentation. It was, here's some really cool experts that can actually help you in your business. And they're happy for you to jump in and ask questions and laugh and joke. And, it all became part of it. And I think that that's, to me, that's a big part of what you've kind of created. And the atmosphere of what it's like to be at these events is just, it's electric. I don't know how else to describe it. It's awesome. Can't wait to do it again.
No, I think you've nailed it. Hey, it's kind of that event that, like, we have a structure and we have a criteria and we have an agenda to stick to, obviously, but I mean, it's not as strict where, travel agents are sitting in the dark and the people on the stage are all sitting in the light and we're just talking amongst ourselves. Like, it's very much an outward conversation. And I think when people feel warmed up throughout the day, that it's just like a matter of just hurling questions and going, yeah, yeah, girl, I resonate. And it's just like, I think there's so much energy and that just like contributes to the vibe and the experience of everyone in the room, because we don't get opportunities to openly speak and say, oh, yeah, sure, I feel like that too. And yeah, you just realize that you're not alone. The concerns that you have in your business and also the good things that are happening in your business is definitely a shared experience among so many more people than you probably realize when it's a work from home situation and you're, doing things independently and you might not necessarily have the opportunity to go out and network and connect with other agents or things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a vibe. But yeah, so Anna, we are very fortunate to have you joining us on stage again this year. But we were talking with Charlie Trevina last night, and she mentioned that you guys have got such a incredible talk prepared for the Travel Trends Summit this year, which I'm really super excited about. But before we dive into our questions, I wanted to ask, who are you? What is it that you do? And what do you love most about what it is that you do?
Oh, that's an easy one. I just couldn't quite catch it. Okay, cool. So, well, I'm Anna Shannon. Thank you for introducing me. My business is, Travel Agent Finder, Travel Trade Connect. I'm also a digital marketer. I do some social media for a couple of businesses as well. So my original, I guess, career was in corporate marketing. So that is my background. I decided around the age of 30 that I wanted to really follow my passion, and I became a travel agent, sort of out of nowhere, but I absolutely loved it. And I actually thought I'd be doing that job forever. It was so much fun. And then our lovely friend, the pandemic, came along, and like so many, I lost my job. And that's sort of when I went back into marketing and really started working on this concept of travel agent finder and matching people by specialty. So I think what I love about it is, I mentioned before, uh, businesses that really help people and come from a place of service are I think more kind of purpose led and purpose driven. So that's what I'm about. Uh, all those years ago, I kind of left marketing because I actually felt like my role was to make people buy things that they didn't need, which is very like not the right attitude. But at the time, that's how I felt. And I realize now that the difference is, I'm working with people. I can see the impact that I have on, a small business that is trying to wear all the hats and isn't quite sure how to do their marketing. And I think that's really the key difference. So, everybody uh, gets joy out of different things. Everybody feels success from different things. For me, I really love the fact that this is helping people, not just agents with their marketing and being found for, what they specialize in, but also travelers like who are stuck, who aren't sure where to turn, to be able to, in just a few clicks, like connect with the right person. And it really helps everyone. I just not really sure why it wasn't there before, to be honest. It's not a hard concept. So I don't know. I feel like there's a million things I could say about loving what I do. So we'll leave it there. Otherwise, that will jeopardize the entire rest of the discussion. But life is certainly more fun when you love what you do. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, during our chat last night with Charlie, we mentioned about identifying gaps. And I think with Travel Agent Finder, it was a pretty prominent gap. And, no one's really had the imagination previously to create like a mass website platform directory. Like, I think we've certainly had, like, the idea's been around,
Yeah.
but there wasn't anyone really active in the space, kind of trying to connect people. Like, yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one, but I just think what you've managed to do with Travel Agent Finder and what you've turned it into is just nothing less than extraordinary.
Oh, thank you. I do surprise myself sometimes with actually how far I've come. I mean, you'd told me 5 years ago I was going to know how to make a website and was going to manage to like build a brand from absolute scratch with like no money but a lot of time. And now I've got over 1,000 members. Really, like it's quite crazy. Like I look back on it and just think, oh my god, how did I actually do that? And like, what did I do? But you know, it resonates with people, and I just keep, I guess, being me and looking at how I can improve things and how I can better help people. And that seems to resonate with them. So it all, yeah, flows and it's all working well, which is good.
Now, what does the luxury of freedom look like for you in your work, and how do you protect that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I, again, feel like I got a few different answers. So I think for me, freedom means like working on my terms. So a long time ago, I was actually like incredibly sick with what is probably most easily referred to as like an invisible illness. So it really reframed the way that I work because I needed to work like when I could work and like how I needed to work to make myself comfortable. And that didn't really always fit in with like the 9 to 5, the regular day, the 1 hour for lunch. Like, you know, I can't be taking my doctor's appointment at lunch if the doctor's not available until 4 p.m. It just doesn't work, right? So, like, well before the pandemic, when, working from home became like a normal thing, I was already working from home. So I was doing this sort of 5 years before that in a different capacity, like, working as a travel advisor. So that if I needed to pop out for an appointment, or if I needed to jump on the treadmill from pain, or if I needed to head out to my yoga class at a weird time of the day, like because that's when the person was running the class that I needed to go to, then I could. And that really was something that I think changed my life at that time. And if I hadn't been able to do that, I probably would have had to leave the industry. And really, I never looked back. So it's not always easy to do this when you're working for an employer. I understand that. There's so many factors involved. But like these days, I'm running my own business. It means that I have this flexibility and I can do it my way. And that's probably like the top thing I would say about that. Yeah. In terms of protecting my time, so I'll be honest with you, like I do sometimes.
Protecting your freedom in your work.
Yes, so I do struggle with this sometimes, to be honest. I do have like an open calendar link, right? So where people can book meetings with me, and so that can be hard. So I need to be really strict about, what times, like what blackout times I have, because I've got, my course or I've got my yoga class or whatever it is, and just being really strict about the times that that open calendar can kind of like, be filled or that meetings can drop in. And I also am, I've learnt over time to kind of keep Mondays and Fridays meeting free because there's just so much to do when you're a business owner that if you don't prioritize and time block for that, it does start to creep in on you and your workload and that freedom, which is so important to us. So, yeah, I guess, as my own boss, like I can freely make these decisions. I can keep the business like aligned with me, and my true authentic self, but also in a way that still allows me to, service my members and help people without impacting my life too much. Yeah.
And collaborating with awesome people like me.
Yes. Oh, like that could be just like a whole conversation in itself. Yeah, absolutely.
A topic that you and Charlie are also going to dabble upon on the stage together.
Yes.
Very excited for that. But how do you intentionally make space for fun in your personal life, but also inside of your business?
Yeah, well, I think like that time blocking really comes into it again for me. So, if I have my like non-negotiables of things that I need to do, whether that is for sorry, whether that is for, like personal things like my, I keep talking about my yoga class, or, whether that is, Thursday nights is a fun time for me because that's when my local like friends go to, to play like bingo or whatever. Just being really selective about those non-negotiables and um, not well, it's not negotiable, right? It is what it is, and you got to do it. And I think that making time for friends and social time, and also things like for example, I go to Sydney once a month usually, and I tend to block out my whole calendar for that week so that I can really like have a proper chance to catch up with my parents and my family, and not spend the whole time glued to my computer. So, as I mentioned before, I do sort of still struggle with this sometimes. I feel like it's that ever moving like beast of a work in progress.
Mm.
Like, my business really started, it very much started as like a passion project, and it grew very quickly. And I, transparently say I was not prepared with the right kind of resources and time to keep up with kind of what happened next. And I am getting there. I'm finally getting there. But at the same time, like, my work is fun. So it doesn't always feel bad to be working a lot. But, taking the time for those things which give me that bit of like balance and joy means that I'm the best version of myself to show up for other people and help other people. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you prioritize fun because a lot of people tend to think, "Oh yeah, what's fun?" But then again, there's some people that are like, "Oh, well, fun's really important to me, but my job isn't fun." And it's like, "Oh, okay, so what I've discovered throughout these chats is that a lot of people find a lot of fun and joy with what they do inside of their businesses because I mean, like why run the businesses and create the businesses that we have if
Mm.
we can't have any bloody fun?"
That's so true. I mean, you hear that story about people who, leave their day job to start their own business so that they can work on their terms and work flexible hours and be home with their kids. But instead, they end up working like 80 hours a week because they're trying to do everything. And that is hard. And, in the beginning, you are building a business. Like, if you think it's not going to be hard work, you're probably in for a bit of a shock. But you're right. Like, we've done this for a reason. We need to make it work for us. We need to plan it around the lives that we want to lead. Otherwise, why are we doing it?
Mm. And I think you figure it out pretty quickly, hey? Like you can only be stuck to the computer for so many hours in the day. And I know that even just today, for example, like I was over at the Ridges with Pam from Virgin Voyages and our stylist, and just going through the layout of the land and just trying to get everything sorted and just like, what is it that we need, get things in the plan and, just make sure we're ticking all the boxes. And I was away from my computer and it felt so nice being away from the desk for even half a day. I'm probably going to go and pop in another half a day after this call. But I mean, it's just, if I didn't love what I was doing, I would really be resenting every hour, every minute that I would be at my desk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with the balance, that there's different balances in life. Like you could spend the morning at a doctor's appointment or with your kids or, elsewhere, but you still can come back and do a bit of work. And then it's like, oh, dinner time. Oh, a distraction or something. Like me, I'm very distraction prone. Like my doorbell rings, I'm at the door talking to someone for half an hour, which is not great. And I wonder if it's a wonder I get any work done at all. It's kind of just going, oh yeah, like I don't take myself too seriously. I do all the tasks that I need to get done. And it's the same, like whenever I was working in a normal job, like all of the tasks would be done. It just would be done in a different order to the regular person, I suppose.
Yeah.
um,
On your
but in
terms.
regards to fun in your business, so because you do take so much pride in what it is that you do, and I guess because you're passionate about helping people, like there's an element of fun in that as well. But there also needs to be an element of confidence. And I think with you, Anna, in specifically, just knowing you for a few years now, like your confidence has grown so dramatically. It's a real testament to you and your growth. Super proud of you, girlfriend,
Aw,
honestly.
thank you.
But if you were to zoom back in time to a younger version of you who maybe didn't feel as confident as you do today, and you were to impart some words of wisdom, what is it that you would share?
I've done like a lot of, let's say, self learning, like self awareness, even psychology courses over the past 10 years. And I think this has completely transformed my life. But if I have to pick one thing, I'm going to tell you about a very good friend of mine who, we're in depth talking about this conversation and building confidence and that kind of thing. And she said to me, like, there's this famous quote. So, what other people think of me is none of my business. And I feel like that really changed my life. Like I thought about it a lot. Like I just decided, okay, from today onwards, this is how I live. So, because when you stop caring about or obsessing about or like wondering what other people are thinking, um, you're not you're not going to move forward unless you do that. So I will say to you at that point where you make that decision and you go for it like full on 100%, welcome to the best part of your life because you're never going to look back. Like you'll learn, like I've learned to recognize and protect myself from like those negative Nancy's. I have gotten braver with things. I still have confidence issues. I still don't love like speaking in front of a crowd. It takes, I am an introvert, so it takes me, a lot of energy. I'm sure it does everyone, but to do these types of things. But the only way to do that or get better at it is to practice. And when you've let go about what other people are going to think, that doesn't come into it anymore. It's just about building that confidence like a muscle. Keep trying, start small. And you, like I said, you get braver, you will be more confident. It might take time, but you will shine. It's never going to be a bad thing. So I think like the more you do it as well, and possibly without even realizing it for me, you start to be more you in like all aspects of your life. So, and I find like for me personally with my business, that's where things got really interesting because, you know, uh, you don't need to hustle. You don't need to do the hard sell. You're going to start attracting the right type of people into your world. And that's, like I said, that's when everything changes. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while to arrive at that point, don't you reckon?
Yeah. And I got a lot more to go, but I definitely have come a long way. I have come a long, long, long way, and it has changed a lot of things for me. So, yeah.
On that topic that we circled on a little bit earlier, where there was moments in your journey where you've surprised yourself, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. I was going through, I guess, a mentoring program. So the travel industry mentor experience, and my mentor at the time said to me, like, you're focusing on all the things that you haven't done yet. You're not looking at all the things that you have done. And
Mm.
that I realize like is a pattern from my entire life. So that was really cool. And I think it was the end of 2023 where it really like came to a head for me. So I was like, it was the end of the calendar year, right? So end of December, I was working on this like campaign and this social media post around like a year of impact. And I was trying to look at the statistics from my business, look at how many, connections that we'd facilitated. And I was looking further into like the data from my agent leads, like the surveys that I send out to agents who get leads through Travel Agent Finder. And I did like a bit of a data like extrapolation, and I realized that, this little idea of mine that started as a passion project has generated somewhere between like 20 and $40 million for Australian travel agents. And I legit like fell off my chair. I fell off my chair because I was always looking forward at the things that I still had to do. I never actually like stopped to really pull out that data and like look at it as a whole. And I think that's also the point where like I sort of maybe started getting agitated when people asked me how my little business was going
Don't you hate that?
because
I hate
yeah,
that.
but
Mm.
I think up until that point I just agreed with them. Oh yeah, my little business is going good,
Yeah,
but
my little
it
side
actually
hustle.
took like for me my little side hustle. Yeah, it actually took like for me to realize the impact that it had, um, to like stop actually portraying that. So, and start even correcting people's language when they say things like that to me, because I don't think I believed it to myself until that point. So,
Mm.
yeah, that honestly fell off my chair, Steph. Had a bruise for weeks. It was like that was like if someone had just slapped me in the face and said, like shock or surprise, 100%. That was it.
Mm.
That was
And you
huge
got
for me.
a bruise
Huge.
to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good on you, girlfriend.
Mm.
Like you've really taken the leap of faith and you've trusted yourself, and everything that you've done has come from a place of pure intention of wanting to create a community, first of all, of travel advisors, but also to create something that the consumers can feel really safe in knowing that you've not selected, but you've vetted each person who's coming onto the platform. Um, and, you do a lot of quality assurance along the way to ensure that everyone's, getting maximizing their potential on using your platform. Number one, priority number one. But number two, that their profiles are optimized and things like that, that the consumer's getting the best information and the best access to travel experts as well. Like it's just a huge, massive job that you as a solopreneur have taken on. So yeah, it's just phenomenal what you've managed to achieve in just such a few short years. So
Thank
well
you.
done to you, gorgeous.
Thanks.
So in the era that we're in, why do you feel that spaces like the Travel Trend Summit need to exist?
And I have to stop myself from talking for half an hour about this. So I think, above all, like we all succeed when we find our tribe and our support crew. And that means like finding those like minded people, like yourself, like Charlie, who support each other and are, working towards the same goal. Um, they get where we are, they get where we've been, they get where we're going. And having those like-minded people around you is, I think, like just game changing, because no one is ever going to support you like that kind of crew does. So if that's the type of place that you want to be, if that's the type of thing you want to experience, this is where you're going to find it. It's not going to be, it's different to any other event in the industry in many, many, many different ways. And, if you're a small business owner or you're an owner, agent, and you are trying to wear all the hats and you're looking for expert advice and things that can help you take some of that overwhelm away and just streamline it, but also that all important like support crew and like-minded people, then absolutely you need to come to this event.
I think at the same time, for those people that are feeling really quite lonely in their role, like if you're just joining the industry, whether you're jumping back in after COVID and you're thinking, oh, what the heck, I'll just run my own business, which seems to be a bit of a trend that's happening at the moment, and I'm absolutely here for it. But then you've got people who are well-traveled, they've always loved the travel industry, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm just so passionate. It's just calling my name. I have to be a part of this industry. And they're doing everything that they possibly can to upskill, get the knowledge that they need to actually join the industry and create their own businesses. Like, I mean, it's absolutely exceptional what people are managing to do. And, as a mentor, it's such an incredible gift and honor to be able to help support people like that. But it doesn't matter where you're at on your journey, whether you're at the beginning or you're in the middle, messy middle, as I like to call it. You don't know which way's up or what day time it is. It's all relative. It's all just part of, building a business and building a brand. Or if you're at the pointy end where you're kind of like, oh, I've got traction, I've got good engagement, I've got really good solid audience. But now I just need to refine my brand or refine my messaging or refine my niche or just get really specific with the niche, and just I love a distraction. Oh, mate. Dude, you're going to have to leave. I'm still on the live.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I know, bud. We had tech difficulty. Off your trot. Come on. Oh, he just loves you, Anna. What can I say? He's just missing out on time with his girl.
I do feel like this is maybe my fault. Hi, Billy. Love you too.
Oh, we can finally hear you.
Yes. Off your trot, Bubby. Love you. Off
How
you go.
could you get
Please
her
go. I'm not speaking to you
How
anymore.
could you get her to speak?
Anyway, Anna, in the spirit of the end of the episode, if there's people in the audience or people in the industry that want to learn more about Travel Agent Finder, or maybe getting a profile and, having a little slice of paradise on the Travel Agent Finder platform, where can they find more info?
Yes, absolutely. So on our travelagentfinder.com.au, in the top right-hand corner, there's a nice bright blue, beautiful teal button that will give you a little bit more information. It's got the options for joining, but you're always welcome to reach out to me and, ask me questions or connect for like a bit of a demo of how it all works as well. So we'd love to have you on board. The more experts and different, destination specialists or travel style specialists that we have on board, the more people that we can help. So we'd love to have you. Thanks,
Beautiful.
Steph.
Love your work, gorgeous. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah, everyone who's joining us for the Travel Trend Summit is in for an absolute treat with Anna and Charlie's session this year.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait. It's going to be epic once again. I just know it.
Yeah, I've got so many surprises for you, girl.
Ooh,
Buckle in.
I love how creative you are. You always bring the goodness. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, gorgeous. Alrighty, well, we'll see you very soon, and good night to everyone in the studio and those people tuning in live on Facebook and LinkedIn. Appreciate the support, and we'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m, so tune in. Thank you, Anna. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.